If you're not listening to the Smoke World podcast, you're wasting your time, you mortal.
What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Smoke World. I'm your host, Stone. So go grab that stick, go grab a glass, whatever you're drinking. Let's sit back and have a conversation. You can follow me on Instagram at Smoke World Podcast. Email stone@smokeworldpodcast.com. The website. Folks, all I can tell you is go check it out. We got some great sponsors on there, so go check out the website. We got some new picks coming up. We got those cigar deals going on. Again, Cigar Recon. You need the promo code to get that price. Smoke World 21 is your promo code to get that price, because the price you see online has changed. This episode, people, this is a raw conversation. The question is, did social media change the smoke game? Now, I'm gonna put a disclaimer out there. This is some raw conversation, some explicit language. So if you offended easily, I'm gonna let you know and put it out there. Listeners, beware. So I sit down with the brothers of the Leaf that we're smoking, we're drinking, we're having a good time, and we have a raw conversation. So if you're sensitive, this may not be for you, because we are talking raw. And again, the views of my guests do not reflect the views of the Smoke World podcast. All right, so the question is, did social media change the smoke game? Brother Mel, our youngest player here today, what's your opinion of that?
Hell yeah. And me being a younger nigga is, you fucking right, it changed the smoke game. Social media just, basically everybody wants somebody that's balling. It ain't no more like original shit. Everything is amplified. They want what they see. Like
So it's a fake thing. It's fake. It's not
yeah,
real.
that shit is folklore, bro. What you seeing on there ain't real, because nobody's gonna show you them having a bad day. They ain't showing you the bills they owe. They only gonna show you the good shit, the parties, the when they get dressed, the nightlife. That's it. The money. That's what the girls want now. So
If they always wanted the money?
They did, but it wasn't to this extent, because they ain't get to see it like that. So you only went after what you seen was fly on the street. So if a nigga carry himself a certain type of way, you like that. Basically, the drug dealers, like basically that type shit.
Okay. Hey, you light skinned guy. It's two light skinned brothers sitting here, but I'm looking at one directly. What's your opinion on, did social media change the smoke game?
Yeah, I think it has, and the reason why, I think it's really made the playing field uneven. And what I mean by that is, just like Brother Mel said, you know, the girls are looking for the money and so forth, but at the same time, the girls is over here portraying themselves to be a certain way.
Yeah.
You know,
Is it only girls or everybody?
it's the guys and the girls.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But think about it. We have always been, right? If you think about it, we are hunters by nature, right? The thrill of the hunt is what it's always been about when it comes to trying to get a mate, right? Or trying to get that piece of ass for that night, right? Because you're like, at the end of the night, you like, yeah, I got that, right? High five and doing whatever, looking at yourself in the mirror the next day like, yo, I bagged that joint, right? But now, I mean, you got these young girls out here, they flexing and flossing like they all that in a bag of chips. And half of them is still living in their mom's cribs half the damn time. And they telling you to come at them like you supposed to be all that. And it's not. You know what I mean? You got to think about how morally we're fucked up as well, right? To the point where, and I'm not knocking a sister getting her money if she wants to be a stripper, right? But our society, from the social media game, right, has put a stripper at a pedestal. You know what I mean? And be like, yo, let's get this stripper money. Let's get this money. Let's live this lifestyle. You know what I mean? And then you have
that's rap and social media though.
that's social media.
Yeah,
It changed the whole game.
The rap. If a rapper talk about a stripper, bro, she hot. Everybody wants to go to Magic City to see that stripper, or and want to take pictures just to say that they was at Magic City when the rapper. You even look at the ball players now.
Right, but I wanted to go. I wanted to go to Magic City when I was back in college.
So is there any difference in the dynamics with that?
You know what I mean? So
the strippers been doing what they've been doing.
But they were low key about it. You know what I mean? They was there was a little bit more low key about it. They wasn't, brother. They got shows out here now with girls, you know, strippers and getting this money.
Absolutely
and,
right.
You know what I mean? It's like
low key, or is it just the game has changed? Where now
the game has changed.
It's cool to come out and being open.
But I think back then, if you knew about it, you knew. I like if you
knew a girl was stripping, right, and you saw her at Magic City and you saw her out in the street, you might give her that side eye, like,
right,
yeah.
It wasn't.
Yo, you took a couple hundred from me the other night. I remember you. You know what I mean?
Right. So at the
But
same
now
time,
it's
I feel like
it's just perpetrated to the 15th
like you said, they on the
act.
pedestal now.
Yeah. And I think that coupled with these young girls and guys, right, putting value into how many likes, how many friends, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like they will look at a friend and say, I have 5,000 friends, and really think they really got 5,000 friends.
Yeah, and they'll tell you need to get your followers up.
Yeah, right. Like, but that's not really. That doesn't dictate who I am. You know what I mean? Because my crew of circles right here.
Fuck no. Could you call out of 5,000 friends, followers, if you will?
Yeah, friends, Facebook.
Yeah, whatever. Like, you mean? So, out of 5,000, you got 5,000. How many of them people could you really probably call in the jam, bro?
None.
If you was really fucked up,
Absolutely
out of 5,000 people,
None.
Do you know the weirdest shit I noticed about that shit? Like Instagram, Facebook, and all that shit. Them people that you following, bro, you don't even really know them. If you see them, if you see them on the streets, bro, y'all not speaking.
No, they're not even talking to you.
Yeah, that shit is just for. Like it's weird, bro. It's weird.
It's a fugazi.
It's weird, bro. It's the weirdest shit ever. Cause you would know somebody like I know I follow you, but if you walk by me, bro, I won't even speak, bro. And I done liked fucking 3 of your pictures earlier. So what is the retardation in that? Like, what is that?
It has changed the game. I mean, it's changed the game where, we had talked about this earlier. You know, as guys over 40, right? Mm-hmm. We used to have game.
Oh, absolutely.
We used to have spit game. You know, because I've always been festively plump. So for me,
hey yo, for a young nigga, can you explain that? Can you break that down?
You see the festively plump. I'm pumped. You know, I'm festively plump. So you know, my game had to be tight. My spit game had to be like, you know, ferocious. Mm-hmm. I was the hunter.
But no, you got pretty hair. You know, you got light eyes, so you was cool for back in the day.
But,
you was a guy.
But
you know, back
okay.
in the 80s, y'all was the thing.
I was it. I was
it
back in the day. Before Tyrese.
Right, absolutely.
You know
Today you hop out with some Balenciagas on, pocket full of money, man. You it.
No matter what you look like.
Couple chains around your neck, man. You it. You willing to spend a little.
Is it about game or more about the goalposts of what women are trying to get out of a man? Than before, when a woman dated a man, in the 80s, they was just looking for someone to take care of them, protect them, and all that. Now they need more money, the bag.
When you just said that,
what is that? Is that about value though? Is that about value? But is that about value in the fact of
in a relationship?
But in a relationship, right? So if I may,
it's not about a relationship at
you
all.
know,
Right,
and you know why? Do you know why? I think they realized that niggas is probably going to cheat anyway. I really think they realized that, and it's they can give dick to whoever. It's about what they going to get out the door at the end of the day. It seems like now, like they feel like it's about them now. Y'all niggas gonna do what y'all want to do
I
anyway.
mean, they've been winning. They've always been winning.
And they
I mean,
realize
they
now-
win more. Because the game has changed.
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They only, we talked about this, you know what I mean? A pretty girl sit on a photo smoking a cigar with her titties out.
Yeah, game changer.
Game changing, right?
What
I-
nigga ain't gonna want to fuck her?
Right.
Be around her. Who not? And they, and a lot of them is gonna do whatever and spend whatever just to impress y'all, bro.
Yeah.
Niggas really be wanting to impress other niggas nowadays. It's not really about the bitch.
So the game has changed.
Like, bro.
I think you got. There's still more categories than that. There's niggas and then there's men. There's girls and bitches and there's women.
Of course, that goes without saying,
So
but the
it goes with
majority
the goals
rules, bro.
of what they
We are
got
the
there
forgotten.
already.
Anybody that's thinking like us are the forgotten, bro. We're gonna end up with wives. We're gonna end up with what we end up with. But our type of thinking, bro, it's not a lot of real niggas left, bro. What's fake is what's real now. They don't give a fuck about us being real.
There's a lot of real men out there, men who have jobs,
I don't know, man.
who
You
pay
tell
the
me,
bills,
man, there's a lot of
Bro,
who
they
make
don't
money,
give
who
a
have a
fuck about
stable
us
job.
being real, bro. They don't.
But that's going to
What's fake
attract
is
a
what's
certain
in.
type of female. So I think that might be what we might be,
So-
if we are debating. Those type of individuals that maybe you're speaking about, or you're speaking about, that type of female
Right.
or male
Right.
will attract a certain type of individual.
All
Girls
the
and
time.
All the time.
All the
Right.
time. But at the same time, as O was saying, when he's talking about what a woman is looking for and so forth, right? So you're breaking it down into certain dynamics, right? And the dynamics is this, right? If you have a stay-at-home, if you have a mother and a father that's at the house, right? And the sister is there, okay? She at least has, the daughter, right? She at least has a benchmark to say, listen, my dad did X, Y, Z,
Goals.
right? My dad did X, Y, Z, right? She ain't gonna be. We've talked about this before. We've talked about this with the Willie Lynch letters. We've talked about this and other things, right?
If the streets don't get a hold of her,
when
bro.
you have mothers raising daughters by themselves, and they're constantly saying they don't need men, they don't need men, they don't need men, right? It's already perpetuated in their brain that they don't need a man, right? However, how the fuck they gonna say they don't need a man when they don't know what the role of a man is? Okay,
Facts.
and then it falls into the problem of when that girl gets out there and she's trying to find what a man is. She's listening to some bullshit ass girls that she got. She's on social media listening, and that's changing the game because they're telling her what a man should be doing, right? Instead of sitting back and watching, you know, Delaney's dad or
Can I
Corey's
step- can I
dad
step in
or
for a
whatever. You
second?
know what I mean? Saying what they do as a man and using that as a benchmark to say this is what I want in a man, right? A lot of these women for a period of time will lose themselves in this social media bullshit because they're trying to find themselves and they're trying to find that man that they're not finding because everything that's being perpetuated, you know what I mean, through social media is not there.
I think it does start at home, like you said.
Yeah.
It do. But, bro, at some point in time, these streets gonna get a hold of them. It don't matter what the fuck I taught them. When they get out there and determine what's cool and what's not, yo, that's what it is. You can only tell them but so much, bro. When they get 18, bro, even 15, like your daughter, bro. Like when you can only start giving advice, bro, because you really can't physically whoop their ass no more. You really they're gonna get out there in them streets, and it's gonna be up to them. And if you school
So the
them
argument-
right, it don't really even matter. I done seen people come from good homes and still be nothing, bro. So that right there, I don't really think that matter, bro. I don't. I can fucking do what I gotta do to the time they grown, bro, and then they still go out here and fuck
Got
off.
their own mind.
They got
Right,
their own
bro.
mind,
Their
but
own
at
person.
the same
on,
time,
bro.
at the same time,
Come on, bro.
What
Only thing you can do is give them the foundation.
is you give them the
That's
foundation
it.
and you plant the seed.
That's
and,
it.
And sometimes you gotta let them waver for a period of time, and then what happens is the home base always comes back. You know what I mean?
But how much damage?
Yeah.
Sometimes the
done.
damage is
Right.
done.
How far
Sometimes
out did you go to the
but
ocean
see,
and realize you
I
can't
know,
really
I know,
swim?
I know. Uncle here ain't gonna let that shit happen. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna let that shit happen. The pseudo uncles here ain't gonna let shit happen.
But you can only,
know what I mean?
You can only do what you can if somebody, bro. That's like trying to tell a drug addict, bro. You gotta get yourself together. Bro, I don't give a fuck how many rehabs you send them to, bro. They're not going to get themselves together until they want to get themselves together.
Ready.
Bro.
I agree with you.
Like, so it's the same thing with a kid. You raise a kid, you raise them the right way, bro. Once they get out here and get into these group of friends, bro, that's gonna. You notice. My daughter don't curse, or my son don't curse. One day you might come in and just be here and they don't even see you. They cursing like a salad. I ain't teach you that. You ain't learn that here.
Yeah.
You learning that from outside.
Yeah. I agree.
Like that shit. But it's us as parents, man. We can only do but so much, man. I got 4, like so.
Right. So
I'm looking at down the barrel.
So what I'm hearing, it seems like a lot of young people are lacking morals now.
I don't know if it's even young people.
Yeah, and you're right. It's not just the young people. It's
you
like
got to remember the question.
a lot of
social
people.
media changed the smoke game.
Everything we said.
It changed everything.
Yeah.
And I agree with what Matt was saying. Go ahead,
young
Matt.
adults,
So
adults.
people, you're right. People in general now will sell their souls just to look good, just to have money.
Basically for fame.
Right, just
For
to-
approval,
for
some type of
perception.
approval
Yeah.
on the other side, or
Exactly.
whatever that
That's
may
their
be.
low grade of us street people that's our low grade of fame, bro.
Right.
This is what
I'm hearing.
how we're on the tube, bro.
Right.
This is how we get on. This is it.
But we gotta look at this realistically too. Now, social media has changed the game, so some people have been successful with the social media platform.
Yes.
So therefore, it's maybe the carrot and the donkey effect, meaning that okay, you have those individuals who became successful, who were making money off of social media. I think it was a special on Netflix, Instant Famous or something like that. They talked about folks who was on Instagram and they became pretty wealthy and famous. So now you got other folks thinking, hey, you know what? I can monetize
Absolutely.
this social media platform. I can make some passive income by doing whatever I need to do.
But the people that ain't doing that, bro, are falling the victim to social media changing the game.
Absolutely.
They're falling the
definitely
victim to
agree
that
with
because now we're watching people hold bricks of money up to the air like it's a cell phone. We're watching the latest design and fashion. We're watching all of that, and the 11th, 12th graders, the people that's out of school, I'm going to say 8, 7, 16 to 12. No, I'm not even going to say that.
12 up.
Bro, my daughter 14, bro.
Yeah, 12 up.
Balenciaga, Gucci, all of that, bro. She's 14. So I honestly could say, bro, from 14 to... where you want me to stop?
That's the whole point. It
Where you want me to stop? It don't stop. Yeah, you got a certain group of people that be like, I'm too old for that. Or, I've been there, done that. Like, you know, the older we get, sometimes we grow out of it. But then you still got those older people that never grew out that bubble.
Or they never experienced it. So the
Right,
problem
so then they're
is-
trying to keep up with the younger generation.
So that goes to my theory of, you know, my boys that got married when they was younger, and now they want to get divorced and run around.
Midlife crisis.
Yeah,
Stuff
right,
they never
right.
get
Run
experienced.
around with their chest hairs out with chains on, and I'm like, yo, nigga, like that was 20 years ago. Like, what's wrong with you, man?
Never did it, though.
You know what I'm saying? But they never
Had
did
that
it.
experience.
But see,
You know-
it's 20 years ago to you. He's trying to do what we doing now. See, y'all always said when we was young boys, man, we was doing that when we was kids. Like with the braids, with the all that, the baggy, like we
nothing
was
new
doing
under the sun.
Right. When y'all wearing fitted clothes now, we was doing that in the 70s.
Yeah, man, I
like,
hate
yo,
that shit.
like
My fat ass with some tight ass shit.
yeah, like we was doing that in the 70s. It's like everything repeat itself. So when you see somebody y'all age with the fucking chains and the skinny jeans on, y'all looking at them like, nigga, in the
and you absolutely right.
70s we was doing that. You're trying to keep up with these kids?
Yeah. That was like 82.
But like
for us.
you said-
82 to 88.
Cornball.
Yeah.
But like you said,
yeah.
they was the guys that might have been wifed up, or the guys that couldn't come outside, and now they just getting the whiff of that. Like, yo, and they...
Let's think about the other side of that, though. With all this being on social media, you know, there's a lot of people capitalizing on it. They realize, hey, you know what? I can push a product.
I ain't mad at him.
You understand? I can push a product and get folks to chase this ghost and make a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
Like I said, you got these designers, rappers, music industry. Because the music industry changed when the internet really popped up on the scene.
Oh, yeah.
Now, internet been out for a while. Let me correct that. Internet has been out for a while. But when you can start doing your own music, the YouTubes and that game has changed the music industry.
And you ain't gotta have
dramatically.
somebody pushing your label.
Nah, you ain't in
You know what I
A&R, you
mean?
ain't signed to a label.
Yo,
People ain't spending no money on you. They sit you on the shelf, they signed you, but you're like, yo, I ain't getting that right. If they ain't feeling you like that.
Now it's streaming.
Yeah, so the game has changed in all
I mean, if
ways.
you look at the perfect example, is I've always been a Meek Mill fan, and when Meek first came out, Meek was doing all his own stuff. He wasn't signed; he was independent.
He was in the streets.
You know what I mean? He took that yayo money. He did what he's supposed to do. I'm not mad at the game. I'm not mad at what he did in the game. I'll never be mad at that, right? Situations for certain people, that's your lifestyle. That's how you live. That's on you. You know what I mean? He was able to say, you know what? At least he was smart enough. Got with his boys and said, yo, man, let's take this money. Let's go to the studio. Let's get our own studio equipment and let's do our own thing. And he just started pushing. And 15 years later, look at him. You know what I mean? So I'm not mad at the game. You know what I mean? People are smart and they've been able to capitalize on certain. I mean, something as simple as an ebook. You know what I mean? Something as simple as like the Madden football community, right? These freaking YouTuber guys is making a killing, just showing how to set up their defenses and offenses and da 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 and da da da.
Yeah.
It's I'm not mad at them. You know what I mean? They found a niche, they capitalized on it, and they moved on it. How can I be mad at that? The concern is that you have individuals out here that's not aspiring to do anything else other than what they're seeing because they're trying to get the easy money. So in some perspective, it's kind of like the yayo game, but without any repercussions. Because you're going to be trying to do this and trying to get your name out there and get your 5,000, 10,000 friends,
But see,
your likes, your 100,000 likes, da-da-da-da.
I think it is
And then,
repercussions, though.
You know, because
These young kids is dying at an alarming rate and ain't no fucking money involved.
some girls can't even go out. And let me retract that. There is repercussions because
over the dope game, you knew what you was dying for, and you had something to show. This shit you dying over. You dying over looks or what somebody said on social media and how a nigga don't like you. Like, yo,
you got girls getting stalked now. You know what I mean? Like getting hunted down by guys, and it's because they putting themselves out there, but they're not understanding. You know, once you put something out there, man, it's out there
forever.
You know.
Forever.
Another way it's changing the game is I'm hearing that people lack communication skills.
Oh yeah.
You know, men now, some women say don't know how to approach a woman because
they
they're
have
not used
Tinder.
to talking. They're used to texting.
We used to have
now
skills.
And yeah.
Let's think about it. Okay, I want you next time you go to a restaurant and you look around and watch how many people are on the phone and not communicating with the person they're sitting across from. They're not paying attention, they're engaged in that person they're sitting with. They're on the phone doing whatever. Most of the time they're on some social media.
Right.
Facebook, Instagram, whatever the case may be. That's, like I said, going back, just piggybacking off of what you're saying, they don't know how to engage with the regular, basic communications. Again, when we was kids, we have no Facebook, we have friends. We have real friends. Right. So Facebook friends, let's think about
had
this.
to go knock on somebody's door. Can such and such come outside?
Right. There is
Get
none
broken
of that.
bones.
And don't know how to resolve conflict either. You know, if you do get in a relationship, you don't know how to work out problems and issues that you might have because you don't communicate with each other.
You got these guys ready to kill their girlfriends.
Right, exactly.
They about to shoot her like shit. That nigga on the street. Yeah, they know how to talk.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Now, I'm not going to put nobody on the spot, but like I said, now going back to the internet dating. Now, my brother, you got a little more experience with that. Nothing wrong with that. Why don't you give us a little insight? What's going on with that? What's the latest and greatest with the internet dating? What's your opinion when it comes to that? I mean, do you think there are some pros? Well, either way.
But it's too much. There's too many choices out there.
What do you mean?
I mean, if one female doesn't like one guy, she look at the other guy and keep dating and never really settle down. That's why they make a lot of clothes for women, because they can't make up their mind.
Whoa, man. That's a hell of a statement. Yo.
A man.
I ain't gonna get your
will
name
just-
out, but whoa.
A man.
Security.
It's true. It's true. They always looking for the next thing. They looking. It's hard for them to settle. There's too many choices out there.
No, you took a hell of a paintbrush. You know what I mean? You
There's
just
too
took a hell of a
many
paintbrush.
choices out
Can
there.
I expand on that? So
It's a lot of choices.
So-
If they can
so-
keep dating, and social media is giving them all these choices.
Don't that work both ways?
no, man. So listen.
It's been working for us.
Listen, man. I don't know about most brothers, but when I was on the internet game, I was
Black Planet.
Yeah, I was on Black Planet. I was on Plenty of Fish. You know what I mean?
Tinder.
No, I ain't never get the Tinder.
What's the other one? What's the other one?
What's the other one?
Black people meet.
No, it wasn't even that. Well, they had that.
Christian mingle.
Not the dating.
Farmers.com, whatever. I was on all that shit, right? And the crazy part about it is, I agree with what he said, is that from a male's perspective, you know, we are naturally the hunters, right? So we going after, we drop it in inbox, right? Only thing she gotta do is sit in the box in her DM and just sit there and just look
Pick and choose.
and pick and choose and be like, oh, this nigga too fluffy. I'm gonna leave him alone.
Choosing.
You know what I mean?
saying, that's work-
Oh,
that
he got.
Come on now, we gotta be
Man.
fair about this. This
Man.
works both ways. You can say, just like you said, maybe she too fluffy. Nah.
Men don't go like that. They
Absolutely
find a girl.
they do.
Nah.
Absolutely, they do.
You look at it, John.
Not a
Again.
man that wants to settle down and be
gonna
with
abs-
one woman.
Oh no.
It don't matter. You got to pick and choose. You got a whole bunch of
You
pictures.
pick and choose, and you choose, and that's it.
Nah, I disagree with that, bro.
How many times you
1000%.
buy
What you trying to
something
say?
and take
Black
it
men
back?
don't cheat?
Who take things back more to the store after
Yo,
they
these
bought
women
it,
gonna
man
come
or
get you,
woman?
man. I'm gonna put your information out here in this podcast.
Golly.
They come to get you.
Women are always buying something and taking it back.
I think they were.
They're not.
I
They're
think they were
picky.
begging
Ladies.
differ.
Colors.
I'm gonna give you his address,
Something ain't right.
his phone
this
number.
ain't right.
I think men nowadays are just as picky though.
Yeah.
Because they women.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Men now are so feminine.
Whoa, you about to get
They're
busted
not
up, man.
masculine
You're
at
talking real
all.
gangsters right
So
here.
here's the problem. And I agree with them 100%. Because on them profiles, they'll be like, I want a man that's like this, and this, and this. And you be thinking to yourself, why the fuck are you out here if you looking for all this? Because if a man approaches you and he's all this, you ain't going to select him.
Right.
And all the nigga profile he said is I'm trying to fuck.
Yeah.
And that's why they be putting on their
And they be
jaws.
like,
No one
nobody
night
got that
stands,
on
no
there.
hookup.
Yeah, they do.
Bro,
They do?
Yeah, they do.
They not saying they want a relationship.
They
On
be like,
them
they be
jaws.
like,
I'm not.
I mean, come on, man. This shit be like,
Come on, man.
I don't want no relationship.
Yeah, I'm just looking for a friend.
I'm looking for a friend. That means.
You go fishing?
Yeah,
that
come
mean-
on. Them niggas,
We ain't
niggas
gonna
be
know
acting
that, you know what I'm
crazy.
saying? Like, fuck out of here.
Niggas be acting crazy,
Yeah.
yo.
Yeah.
So you can't blame the women at the end of the day. Some of them. You can't blame some of them.
But
You
it
got-
never work out for the woman because then they
be
three
some
kids,
niggas out here lonely too,
three
bro.
kids
So
deep.
how come Tinder was so so
That's a fucking site.
but just
That's it.
but still it was very popular.
You trying to say it's not?
It is
That's
popular.
my point.
That's my point. So you know what?
That's a fucking site. That's
Right.
Tinder.
But that's the women
So
saying.
are they not all that?
Everybody know what
That's
they want
different
then.
between
Let's think about
online
that.
dating when you want
Are
to
they
date
not
somebody
all that?
and have a relationship.
It don't matter if it's Tinder. It don't matter if it's fucking Plenty of Fish. It didn't matter what it is.
What
bro.
about Backpage?
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Black Planet. You know what I'm saying? Like
Should we just go to Pornhub?
I remember all my boys be like, "Yo, man,
Wow.
I was getting all this pussy." I'm like, I would get on there. I'd be like, "Let me throw some little, you know, some
Drop some
nuggets
nuggets
out there. I ain't get shit." You know what I mean? I'm like, and then my success was the club or meeting them at an event or the supermarket.
With Kirk.
So that way too.
Then you meet him at church?
What kind of pictures you putting on there?
See, that's the
My
game.
festively plump ass. What you
I
expect?
bet you put on some glasses, some nice threads, stand in front of a porch, you get some game.
But then
He trying to sell stuff. He takes pictures.
I'm not.
So
I'm not.
he let you know. Listen,
I'm not gonna give
You know.
nobody some false pretense. And
They do that
then,
all the
That's part
time.
of the game.
man,
Catfishing.
They giving you false pretenses. Bitch don't be looking like that when you wake up in the morning. Whole face on the pillow. Bitch, what the fuck?
you know what I mean?
Fuck, I go to
I'm
sleep
gonna get
with
your
it.
mom, and she ain't got no motherfucking hip.
Got your
You know, wig off.
Real shit. She look totally different with the makeup on, bro. She done took that fucking girdle off. That fucking. She took all that shit off. The,
Eyelashes.
Yeah, eyelashes and shit.
Wig,
the whole
wig.
shit on the.
You know what I mean?
That's so crazy. A woman, especially the older woman with them big eyelashes, them 4-inch eyelashes.
looking like Snuffleupagus.
Look,
Like,
yeah,
yo, the other question, I know we gonna go down there. I'm like, how can you see? How can you open your eyes up with them shits?
Y'all can't be in here.
You know what I mean? Big ass eyelashes and shit.
I'm coming in here because I want to sit on
So that's the thing. So like I said, I'm going back to my man here that's going to have all the women come looking for you with a gun, knife, and a tank.
For what?
So
They got all the choices.
all right, so let's go back to, because I really want to dig deep a little bit into this internet dating.
Go ahead.
So give me more. Talk to me.
What do you want to know?
Well, you're saying that Tinder, you're saying certain sites.
Certain
are known
sites
to
are for
be-
certain things. There's a site called Online Booty Call. Is what it is.
Well, I'm saying that kind of speaks for itself. But you're saying
Exactly.
Tinder, you know, falls into a different category.
It is what it is.
So what's the legit? Is there any legitimate
No.
sites for dating at this point in time?
No,
because
me
I'm
no.
hearing all these success stories. Oh, I got married.
Meet them in person and see who
Christian
they are
Mingle.
when you see them.
How about Match.com? How about Match?
Meet them in person.
What about Plenty of Fish?
Yeah,
I heard a lot about Plenty of Fish. Like people say they
I mean,
meet
it
people off of
depends
there.
on their mindset. It depends
man,
on
I ain't
what
know
they're looking
nobody
for.
met nobody on no
Once again,
Plenty
you
of
go back to
Fish.
the goals.
I ain't never heard of
What
that.
are their
Yo,
goals?
Plenty of Fish, yo. It's like the cheapest looking website you can get on and catch me on. My dumb ass was on that shit because my boy told me about
That's a
it.
real site.
Yo, my boy was like, yo, man, I bagged like 5. I was like, word?
Plenty of Fish.
I ain't
It's a real
bagged
site.
nothing. It's Plenty
That's
of
a real-
Fish.
that's a real site.
Plentyoffish.com.
I don't mean I've never been on it before.
I understand. Yeah, my man's and them. But what I heard,
You know, I see you. I see
what
what
happened
you. I see what
was-
you doing.
I met a woman on Plenty of
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So give us your experience on meeting some of these women online.
Yeah, do they
Has
want
it
the
been a
bag?
good experience?
Do they want sex?
Bad experience?
Some want sex.
Did you
Some
give it
want
to
to
them?
get married.
Did you give them what they wanted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met my
took care of
ex-wife on Plenty of Fish.
Well,
Really?
That means
So hold on. Now you met your ex-wife on there. Now did it start out as like a sex deal and then you fell in love, or
All right.
Yeah,
yeah?
let's get the
let's
breakdown.
get to
When
it.
men older, all they fall in love with. Yeah. At first,
It's
you
sex.
fall in love. It's sex.
It's sex.
Truth
And
be
then-
told,
and
I
she
didn't
kept
want.
coming over. Yeah, nope. She
Yep.
kept coming over, and you
made
allowed
You
it.
like, all right,
She
come
made
on.
them-
man.
She
Okay.
made them toes
Yeah.
curl.
Yeah.
She
All
made
right,
them
so-
toes curl, and then
so
she
with
cooked
that
me
being-
breakfast naked.
The case. How did it
that's-
get to
that's
that
how
point
she
where you say,
bagged me.
okay, you know what?
She cooked him
gonna
breakfast
marry this
naked.
girl.
That's what happened.
So how does it get to that point?
She
You
sucked
say you met on
poison
Plenty
out
of
of there,
Fish,
and
and
he got weak,
I guess
and that was it.
said,
are we
baby,
calling
woo,
these
woo,
dates?
woo,
Did y'all go on
No one
dates
else
or?
was gonna suck.
We went on dates.
No
And
one else
eventually
was
got married. Yeah.
Okay, but I need to. That's you just skipped over a lot of stuff right there. You skipped
do that
over-
again.
Yeah.
You skipped over everything.
Yeah,
What
absolutely.
happened?
So you meet your ex-wife
Yeah.
on a website,
Yeah.
plentyoffish.com.
And it starts
We
out as
meet
sex.
up.
And she,
I'm looking good. She looking good.
Okay.
We go out. Hit the skins.
Work night. Work date. First date, y'all got a cigar in my mouth. folks.
Third
Yeah.
date. Third date.
Third date.
Third
Oh,
date.
so you
hit
done
the
went out
skins.
3 times now,
Yeah.
and
3
then you
times.
say fuck it. Yeah, it is
I need
one
that.
day.
I was trying not to. I was trying to be a little different because
Oh, stop
it depends
that.
on what
I don't
you're
know. I don't know what that
I'm
means.
serious.
You
What
was trying not to do what?
I was on the game.
You was on
just
plentyoffish.com,
Smash
and now you
and
trying to tell
pass.
me you trying to do something else.
Smash
What were
and
you
pass.
trying to do?
Smash
I
and
don't
pass.
understand.
I'm confused.
I don't
I'm
understand
confused right
Chocolate
now.
Thunder.
Sir, what were you?
I don't understand
confused.
Chocolate Thunder. What's going on?
What you don't understand?
No, you were on Plenty of Fish, and you're
Thundercat.
talking about what you wasn't trying to do. What
Mr.
were you trying
Thundercat.
to do?
Hey,
I'm
man.
confused.
Chocolate Thunder over here.
When them clothes come off, it's a different thing.
Well, hold
Like,
on. What you
oh.
mean you was not trying to do what? Thundercat, talk to us. Thunder.
He's trying to be a
Thundercat.
gentleman.
Oh, So
He was trying to be a gentleman, and he was trying
how
to.
you on plentyoffish.com trying to be a gentleman?
Again,
I'm confused.
Again,
I'm not being funny. I'm confused.
That was his means of meeting a woman and trying to.
As his attorney explained,
He was trying to court her. He was trying to court her properly, the old school
on
way.
plentyoffish.com.
Yo, dog.
You should have went to Sunday service at the church
Things have
and
changed.
grabbed Mary Ann and said, "Listen,
Christian singles meet
Things
is where
have
you should have
changed.
been.
People work a lot. There's not a lot of time for the dating now. You got to work 12 hours a day.
You
Matter
tried
of
to
fact,
wife a lady on Plenty of Fish.
no, you did.
I
Chocolate Thunder, baby.
did. I did.
You did. But and I want to know this experience. So I'm curious to know. Again, they keep interrupting you, sir. I do apologize.
Okay.
But let's go back because
Okay.
I'm not familiar.
Okay.
Plentyoffish.com. You seen the picture? Oh, she looks nice.
Right.
Now, how does this work? You send some direct messages or behind the
Yeah.
scene message to her. She
Exchange
responds.
numbers. Same thing you do if you meet in person. You exchange numbers. You go out on dates. You talk, and you see what's what.
Okay.
You see what's what. You move on further.
I'm a little confused on the.
Hold
You was
on,
trying
hold-
not to do something. So
I was trying
if you can
to-
enlighten me and the
trying to
listening
court her
audience.
I was trying to
Stone,
order old
Stone, why the fuck do he keep skipping over what he was trying to do
Yeah.
on Plenty of Fish? We don't care about none of that other. What were you trying to do?
What I was trying to do is get into a relationship without it being carnal, without it being
Oh, using
about
big words now. Whoa, look
sex.
at this. Oh, okay.
without a lot of sex.
He went Ebonic 50 Cent on
I
us.
know that's like a nickel word. But okay, so you were trying not to knock her off, is what you're trying to say. So what happened? You got weak?
No, I'm saying that wasn't the first thing that
Was in your mind?
was wanting to happen.
Really?
Yeah, on my mind. Yeah, of course I want to knock her off. No problem.
So you got weak on the third date.
But I didn't want that to be the forerunner of being a relationship. That's where people go wrong.
Put the government
Okay.
name
Making-
out there. He gonna
Right.
be-
That
making
barred up.
making a relationship about sex. So when the sex is over, then where's the relationship? Where's
Well,
the
that's what I'm
bonding?
curious to
Where's
know.
the
Because
talking?
how did you get to that point? Whereas though now
You
got
go
married.
out.
I'm saying, okay, you did the thing on the third date.
Yeah.
Did you
Yes.
love her after that?
You got to love me or leave me alone.
After a while, yeah, of course.
So she made them toes curl, huh?
But not after you make it.
Well, that's what I guess we're trying to figure out that part. We might
Baby,
be.
woo, woo,
I can't say we. I'm a little confused.
He said no, not in the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, well, proceed. Let them stop and interrupt you, man. Go ahead,
So
speak
when
your
did the
piece.
toes curl?
When my
The third
toes
date.
No, he said not in the beginning.
No, not the
My
beginning. He didn't
toes
knock her
curl
off
when
in
I
the
was
beginning.
18. Between 18 and now. There's
So,
some girls that make your toes curl.
We ain't talking
No,
about
man.
what
We
Plenty
talking
of
about
Fish.
plenty
An
of fish.
ex-wife.
What did he-
Right.
He said, what the fuck did y'all forget?
So what you trying to say is that particular girl made my toes curl? Yeah, she did. After a while, yeah.
Well, after a while,
I
you got a
mean,
trainer.
it's good.
Okay.
She ain't need no trainer.
Okay, so cool. That's cool. Now you got that going on.
Right.
So I'm just trying to get up to the build up to where you said, "Dang, you know what?
I wanna
I'm gonna marry you,
Right.
I'm gonna marry her."
I'm gonna
I
make
mean,
her
it wasn't
honest
like
woman.
that. It was
Well,
like I
talk to us.
chose her. I said, hey, you know what? She might make a good wife.
You don't say. How
Right.
did that work out? Not so much.
Well,
What was okay? Maybe that was.
Well, what I was looking for wasn't necessarily what I needed. Sometimes, let me see if I can explain this right.
Take your time. Be in church.
Sometimes people don't know exactly what to look for in a wife. I hadn't had that training. I come from a single parent, dual parent, divorced parent home. So to know what a wife is or what the position or the role of the wife is, you may get into a relationship that's not really good for you. Same thing with the female. If they don't really know what a husband is or what a relationship is, it may not work.
So, do you think that was a scenario with you that you didn't know?
Absolutely. If she wasn't on the same, we didn't have that conversation in the beginning. Well, what are we to each other? What are we going to bring to each other to make this relationship work long term? Then you only going for the short term goal. It's a smash and pass. Then that's what it is. How can you go any further?
So, what was it that caused the breakup? What do you think that you guys wasn't on the same page? This conversation never took place.
There's multiple things on each side of the man being a man and the woman being a woman. So you have to know what a woman is to a man and what a man is to a woman.
That's like a riddle. But
He's talking about defined roles.
okay, that's
Define
fine.
roles.
So how long did this last? The marriage?
2.5 years.
That's a decent amount of time.
That's a
What do you-
decent
okay,
amount
so
of
you
time,
said it
yeah.
was just different things in the relationship
Right,
that
right.
built up, or the surface that obviously that didn't work out. Whereas though you need to go and go your separate ways.
Yeah, things didn't work out as planned, not knowing what you were looking for in the beginning, so that you can express that, and that becomes the goal of what it is. So nowadays, when people get in a relationship, they have different goals. Maybe their goal is to get the bag or the money, or who is in charge, who's the leader, who's not the leader. A lot of women have problems with that. A lot of men have problems with that, and taking their responsibilities and their roles, which ultimately makes or breaks the relationship.
So since then, have you been back online? Have you been on any online dating dates since then?
Dates? Nobody dates now. Just
Okay.
smash.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So are you paying now? Like, do you just
Man,
get
you
it,
pay
do,
for-
do you just get it out the way from the get, like, the crawler list?
Oh no! I mean, I got charm, good looks.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
okay.
Hey, how you doing? What's up, man? Like you said, you got a little game, you get a little drawn. But everybody pays. Whether you pay a bill or you pay for the date, you pay for it.
You pay for it one way or another. I don't
One way
care
or
what
another.
nobody says.
There's no disagreement. with that.
Even when you marry, you still pay. You pay to keep it.
So
you got
would
to.
you rather?
You pay a lot more when you married.
So would you rather just pay for it right out the gate, get it out the way?
That's how it is now. For men who have the money, that's what you're talking about. They got they selling that yayo. They pay for it. That's what the woman wants. That's all she's looking for is the bag. If you can give it to her, ain't no problem. But finding a stable person or a stable man is different from someone who could just pay. Stability is long term than person who's going to be, even if you sell yayos, the time you might go to jail, the time is different. So, may work, they move on to the next dude that can pay. So it depends on the goals.
Okay. On goals. Whose goals?
Both of y'all gotta set your goals. You gotta know your goal. She gonna know her goal, her role, your role. You get,
Okay. I see. Okay, go. What we got? What you think about that, bro? Now you listen to the whole thing there. What do you think about that?
What about him setting his goals? You gotta set your goals.
and communicate them. Like everybody else says, communication is the key. What you looking for when you go in? You want kids? You want to get married? You want to be long term? Are you gonna bail out in the first sign of trouble? If we get into an argument, you gonna be out?
I mean, yeah, that's
Because that's an investment. You get in a relationship, that's an investment, emotional investment, physical.
So,
absolutely right.
with all that being
Physical.
said, are there any lessons that you learned? What are your takeaways from
Communicate in the beginning.
communicating in the beginning?
Learn whether the relationship is a smash and pass or is it something that's going to be long term.
Do you really know?
Yeah, you can. You can. If you got a girl with 3 kids who got ADD, then you know that might be a little smash.
Nah, ain't gonna be no little smash.
That's a smash and pass.
That's that. Yeah,
You know
that's
what I mean? Because that's a lot of
man. She
responsibility.
done, her stock done felt like the stock market.
All right, now what if she a girl that got 3 kids, but she got a job, a good job, and she doing everything she's supposed to do for you?
She a pink sheet, nigga.
That's nice, but that's
She-
a lot of responsibility.
that's
You
a
gotta take
pink
care of
sheet.
somebody else's
You know what a pink
kids.
sheet is?
Then there's all kinds of.
What if she tell you her kids is good, and she don't need you to do nothing for her kids?
Dog, bro, listen.
Ask that woman if you can discipline her.
Let me look.
Ask that woman if you smash her kid, if you spank her kids for doing something wrong.
What if she say, well, if you the man in my life, of course I'm going to allow you to discipline my kids.
Okay.
I ain't going to get to that point. She a pink sheet, dog.
Right.
I think you...
For those who listen, what is the pink sheet, sir?
So a pink sheet in the stock market is really a devalued piece of stock. It's really like a penny stock, right?
Some women don't even know that.
I don't think y'all right, though, because I don't think every woman with kids is...
A pink sheet.
A pink sheet, bro. I just don't... I can't...
They're liability or responsibility.
Bro, do you understand the responsibilities and everything that go along with...
If you willing,
I do.
If you willing,
If you
I
willing
do.
to deal with it...
I absolutely do.
So
but that's
okay.
gotta be up to you.
Right. So when you dealing with a woman with multiple kids, it's already difficult enough to deal with a woman with one child, right? Because now you got to deal.
Right.
We got to deal with baby daddy drama.
Yep.
You got to deal with his attitude, right? You got to deal with the
The
fact,
kid looking at you like you not their parent.
right? So for me, the way I would always go into any relationship with a girl that had a kid, right? If that kid is with me, I'm gonna raise that kid like it's my own. I'm gonna protect that kid like it's my own, regardless if it's my blood or not, right? The problem is, just like O said, is she gonna allow me to discipline her, right? You want me to do all this work, but you don't want me to discipline.
But what if she do?
But we're not even we're not there yet. You know what I'm saying? If we do, then we might because she had one kid. I might deal with her on a relationship level. You had 2 kids, 2 different baby daddies, 3 kids, 3 different baby daddies. That's a whole hell of a lot of fucking drama. I ain't got the time for, and I'll go to jail for. Because then I got to deal with 3 different attitudes of the father and the games that's being played. Or we about ready to go out on Friday night. Oh, this nigga ain't picking him up. Blah, 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 blah. He mad. Dude, I've been through all that. That's why I look at it like the stock market. Look, you ain't got no kids. Yo, you like the Amazon stock. Your thing is flying. You at 1. Yo, listen. I'm looking at you like...
It could be some girls with no kids that run circles around you, bro.
and
you could be dealing with just as much nigga problems as you is with a girl with 2 different or 3
But
different.
that ain't the girl for you.
But that ain't the girl for me, and that's a smash and pass. That's me
Yeah,
dousing
but you
in and
got to
dousing
find that
out.
out.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you are gonna find it out. All right.
But as soon as she say, on Plenty of Fish, I got 3 kids. Pass. Is there?
But she ain't gonna put that on it.
You know what I'm just saying? You know what I mean?
Profile.
They put
that on it.
Oh, they do?
They be on there with their kids posted up like, with photos and shit. Like,
Right. That's letting you know what you gonna get into.
yeah.
really?
From
It
the
is
get up.
risks. Hey, suppose it's a couple of risks. Suppose you get in a relationship, they got kids. You get a bonding with the kids, and then y'all break up. Man, that bond ain't there. You done put all that investment in them kids. Then there's another risk. What if she had 1 female? Then you got to worry about it. Oh, he touched me, all that stuff. That's a risk.
What that got to do with the price of tea in China? You can have kids with a girl when y'all break up. And that's your fucking kid, and they go with the mom, and you get them on weekends.
Is that your goal?
That's the fucking norm. Where I'm from, that's the norm. Niggas is getting their kids on the weekends.
Is
So
that your goal to have a kid with a girl and then break up with her?
Well, guess what, bro?
that ain't nobody's goal, I don't
Then
think.
that's what you gotta
but
find out
like
at
you
the beginning.
said,
That's what you do with the
like
I'm
conversation.
thinking, but that shit could happen whether you meet somebody with kids or you have your own kids.
But see-
I think y'all putting too much.
Yeah, that
like
is.
you can meet a good girl with kids, bro.
Yeah,
I think y'all
you
just
can.
put.
You
but
can.
y'all just
That's
down
right.
this shit out. Y'all called her a pink slip. Y'all
This guy
aired the chick out.
I did, but that's my prerogative, and that's the way I feel because
It speaks to your experience.
Right.
I've been through that experience.
His experience.
My experience. What I've learned in my experience is I stayed in the relationship longer. Why? Because I love the kids more than I love the girl. So
I'm not knocking your experience. I'm
You know
just
what I'm saying?
the
So-
way it sounds to the public and the way it's perceived
yo,
is like,
any they
girl
can sound-
with any girl with kids is like a no. I do agree with some of the things you said, but
No,
it's
I don't
girls
think we
with
said
kids
it's
that
no, but that's just something you
That's
got
my-
to figure out.
That's a personal choice.
That's my
That's a
personal
personal
choice.
Right. That's a personal choice.
And you gotta
each individual
understand, man.
make.
Listen, as I got older, right? Like as I got older, like when you get out of high school, or whatever, there's no kids. There's like that period of time, no kids. You go through college, there's no kids. First couple of years out of college, there's no kids. You know what I mean? And then people start popping up with kids, right? Okay, you like, okay, I could deal with one. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? You know, and then you go through that dumb moment where you just want some ass because the booty is just bootylicious, and you say, "Fuck it, I'm going." She got 3 kids. She got 4 kids. That means that hole is amazing, right? But then you learn really quick. It's a lot. It's a lot. Them seas is heavy. Them white caps is heavy on that ocean. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of choppy waters out. There's a lot of drama going along with that. You know what I mean? And the one thing that every man will sit here and every person around will say, it ain't nothing like a peace of mind.
Absolutely right about that.
You know what I mean? And if you going if like right now, I understand that's your norm or whatever, but that wasn't my norm. For a period of time, I was like, yo, I ain't got no kid. What the fuck I got to deal with somebody with kids for if I don't have to?
Right.
What the hell is my norm?
No, what you said, that was your norm up your way. You know what I'm saying? That's what you
I
said.
ain't said that was my norm. I said the norm is...
That's a telltale sign too. With girls with multiple kids and different daddies and all that stuff. This woman making poor choices.
Yeah.
How about the men?
Yo,
The
man,
women
niggas just wanna be
control
dirt
the
diggers,
sex.
dog. They just
Women
want.
control the sex. They don't
Alright,
have
so
to
how
open their
girl know if
legs.
she have a baby that nigga ain't gonna leave.
You had one.
Right.
You should have been married first.
Oh shit! But you the
It's
same
about
nigga
the
out here, plenty of fish. They gonna say some shit. See how niggas do? Niggas will say some shit and then be like, "Oh well, you shouldn't have gave me the pussy." Like what the fuck? Like yo, I can't, yo. And I'm young, bro.
To resolve all that, you should have wore a gym hat. How about that?
These niggas is
You gotta take that responsibility.
niggas a bug out.
You gotta take that. You go in.
Fucking bug out.
Come out
yo.
pregnant.
Stone, your podcast is infested. These niggas is bugging the fuck out, Stone. What the fuck is these niggas you got on this podcast?
There's a chance you're gonna have a kid.
Yeah. I mean, that's it.
There are so many kinds of birth control methods there are that she can take care of, and then you discuss
She
with
can
her.
take care of.
And you as a
You
man,
too.
Man,
You
listen,
too.
okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Listen, man.
But if you slide
Trojan stock went up because of me. You know what I'm saying? When I was younger, Trojan stock was up. They be like, "Oh, that's that nigga coming in." Oh yeah, we coming up. We gonna make our quarterly this month. Cause you know what I mean. One, I ain't want to get burned. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want no drip, and I ain't want no kid. So bottom line, I mean, the responsibility falls on both parties. But at the same time, like said, you know damn well when you go up in there bareback, there's a chance.
Absolutely.
And then you as a man has to sit there and say, yo, if this bitch ends up pregnant, do I want to deal with this bitch for 25 fucking years of my life?
All your life.
All my life.
All your life.
You know what I mean?
If you say, "Oh, it's," what did you say? It's your fault if she got pregnant or something. What was your words? I don't want to misquote you.
Whoa.
What was you saying about the kids?
See how they do? They ain't trying
I wanna
to,
make sure I
trying to
get it
put it
right.
back on young
I
guys.
want to say you said something you didn't say. I want to make sure I'm saying it right. I'm expressing myself correctly.
What I say?
You were saying about the kids where the man is blaming the kids for blaming the woman for getting pregnant or something like that. I didn't know you was going to get pregnant or something like that.
No. I ain't saying nothing like that.
Anybody hearing
That's
that?
what I'm saying. I forgot.
No, I ain't saying nothing like
You've
that.
been drinking, so that's the pass on that.
Yeah, I ain't
All right, so
saying
with all that being said, with all that has been said tonight,
Yeah.
what are some of the lessons? So somebody's listening to this and saying, yo, this sounds crazy out here. What lessons have you learned? What advice would you give to someone listening, getting started with this internet dating, hell, just regular dating?
It's a bug out.
You know, what would you tell somebody? What would you
Know
tell
who
somebody?
you getting in bed with. Know
That's the best
who.
you got?
No, that's right.
Know who you getting in bed with.
No one
Know
knows
who-
who they
know
get
who
in
you
the
know.
fucking bed with.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it takes time to know somebody. You ain't never going to no, right. All, but know the consequences when you. Is this a person that you won't be able to deal with?
Huh? Say it again.
Know the consequences. This is somebody you won't be able to deal with. If she does get pregnant, y'all get
So
a
that's your
relationship,
advice.
whatever.
Somebody listening right now to say,
Advice on what?
I'm saying based on your experience with internet dating,
Oh,
your
internet.
relationships.
Okay.
What advice would you give to say, look, don't go down this path. I think you need to watch out for A, B, C, or D.
But everybody got their own choices and their own
Of course
path.
they do.
My
That
path
would
is
be
different.
action, sir.
I'm just saying, make an educated choice.
That's the best you got.
Absolutely.
Okay, you rat bastard. All right, cool.
What I would say, man, if somebody's going to venture out into the internet space, is be mindful of what photos you're putting up there, right? Because the photos is going to give the first impression of what that person's going to think of you, right? So if you be giving a provocative pic,
You're on your bikinis.
right? Exactly. You in your bikini with your girls, and don't get me wrong. Like, okay, you showed a picture of, you guys on a trip to Mexico, whatever the case may be. But if you showing me nothing but ass and titty right from the beginning,
Expect that, right?
do you expect me to really give you respect as
try to
the way I was raised, or are you telling me right from the rip this is an ass piece? Right? You got to be very mindful of what you put out there, and be very selective of what you put out there and how you put it out there, right? And then at the same time, be very mindful of once that shit's out there, it's the fuck out there.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
It's it. Because regardless of you try to delete the photo or whatever, that shit's out there.
Some of these girls ain't playing. It's just this incident. P.J. Washington, the basketball player, with Brittany. Girl got married to him. He was a basketball player making money. Had a baby. He didn't know she was pregnant. 2 weeks later, got a divorce. Now getting $200,000 a month. Child support. Divorced from the kids, see a child.
Yeah, but
You gotta know who you getting in bed with.
how are you supposed to know that this girl is going to flip the
Telltale
script?
signs. If you
Oh,
look at
not
it,
like
you
that,
see it.
man.
Yes, you can.
Not like that. You can't. Some of this stuff you can't see, bro.
You can't see it, then it's something you gotta
You
get some
can't
more
see it
wisdom.
as a professional player. You can't say, "Yo, let me sign this prenup on you real quick."
Yeah,
And
you
make-
can say that.
Yeah,
That's a decision, though.
Yeah, but I'm just
But if you
saying,
think if you thinking you got somebody genuine,
that's gonna be in your camp.
Right,
That's
go ride and die with you.
right, and
Yo,
then
you looking at this girl on John with ass and tits like he said, and she just getting her things on. You know what she about? She about that bad. You said that.
Okay.
She about that. They
So-
tell you right away. Girls tell you right away. If you listen, they'll tell you what they about.
I agree with that.
So, what would based on what we talked about, do you have any advice for those who are listening, based on your experience?
I just feel like, man, certain websites, I just feel like you gotta stay off of that because a lot of them joints, they just hookups. That's really it. And I don't think you could really just go find nobody just on the. Now people have done it. I ain't knocking that, but
But it's a small percentage, though.
it's a small percentage. I don't think that should be your main focal point to just be on websites looking for people. Like I used to feel like that was like desperate. But as he said, that's like the way now, basically.
It is the way. I mean, it's,
Really
the,
like
it's,
the
it's the
way.
most accepted way. But the problem
Right.
is, the problem is this: people have lost the inert ability to just put forward energy, right? Meaning, like if I was single or whatever, I'd be like, "Yo, Stone, you know anybody? Yo, man, you know anybody?" You know what I'm saying? Like I'd be like, "Yo, like
The old-fashioned way.
the old-fashioned way, like." You know what I'm
Meet up with
saying?
your wife, cousin.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, just keep an eye out. You know what I mean? Somebody that, that
You think maybe compatible?
may be compatible or whatever the case may be. But the game has changed so much. You're looking at the way they post themselves on Instagram, the way they post themselves on TikTok. They out here,
Going to parties every week, getting drunk. All that
the top only covering the nipple on tip top, you know what I mean, with the bikini John, and you like, okay, I understand you getting your hits and everything, but you really think you're gonna find a decent brother that's gonna be about you and respect you.
Don't forget about the nipple ring showing through the shirt.
Exactly. Wearing the football jersey with the hole cut out. so they can show the nipple. Like I've seen it all. You know what I mean? And yeah, I've seen them all. So from that perspective, is do it the old-fashioned way. And unfortunately, the younger cats, because they don't have that communication skill, like the old heads do, they're how should I say, they're somewhat at a disadvantage, because like I said earlier, man, back in the day, it was all about, we go to a party, it was like, yo, you got a pad, you got a pad, you got a pad. It was old school shit. How many numbers you gonna get? That type of shit. You know what I mean?
I think a relationship should be treated like an investment. That can be the most important and the most expensive investment you could ever make. You gotta study what you're investing in. You just gotta take your time with it. Get to know what you're investing in, and spend the time. Do the homework.
But can you turn a whore into a housewife?
No.
Negative.
I've seen it.
Negative.
So have I. That's why I asked.
Yes,
I knew
it
some
can
people
be
were going
done.
to say negative.
Oh, really? That's your
Yes.
wife now?
Was she a whore? I'm not asking was she a whore back then.
You'll know. She'll tell you. She'll be like, yo, that's that girl. Oh, yeah, I used to smash her.
You gonna ask you know if your lady was a whore?
If she got 3 kids,
If you not from that fucking neighborhood and you meet a girl, do you know if she was a whore? If she's not being a whore no more for you,
A whore.
do you know?
Yes.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
You fucking don't.
You can tell by
I
the way
didn't
she
see-
talk,
I didn't see
the way she
Houdinis.
dressed, the way she walked, what she's doing. She work at McDonald's.
A lot of
She
niggas
got
turned
real
on by the
jobs.
steak walk.
You can tell a lot of things about females just by
Steak
looking
walk.
at
Some of y'all ass gonna be in trouble talking about these women, man. Talking about
Absolutely.
they work at McDonald's and all. Y'all
I ain't said nothing about. I was on their side. I was
Ladies,
on their side the whole time.
Gentlemen, I'm not gonna say I'm apologize for all this ruckus,
Mellow Summer was on
but
their
this
side.
was a raw, straight conversation about did social media change the smoke game? Yo,
Well, folks, there you have it. Another episode of Smoke World in the books. Like I told you, that was a raw conversation. Hey, my guest's opinion do not reflect the views of the Smoke World podcast. Folks, again, you can follow me on Instagram, Smoke World Podcast. Email stone@smokeworldpodcast.com. Website, smokeworldpodcast.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And we will check you out on the other side. Peace.